Hello dear chess friends and welcome to our new video. In that video again I will play the game, internet game on 10 minutes time control against some opponents. This time that's some Indian guy, so let's see what will happen. Game started in French manner. e4 e6 was played, so my opponent was is a bit lower rated, but of course elo on internet chess absolutely means nothing. Exchange variation in French defense is known as peaceful variation, but this time my opponent tries with early playing c4 to go for some dynamics. So okay, black usually has two concepts here. One concept is to play with pawn on c6 and another to play with knight on c6. With concept number one, black wants to establish control on d5 blockading spot. After that, c4 and d5 pawns disappear the board. And with concept with knight c6, black wants directly to attack white weakness on d4. So let's see what will happen in the next stage of the game. My opponent is thinking, so I want to take time to take chance to help you to thank you for all your support, for your encourages, for likes, dislikes, your suggestions, critics, and also ideas you have. Of course, we are here, we are on internet for you, and we are, let's say, impatient to see your new ideas to improve our channel. Don't forget to like us and to subscribe, and don't forget we are here for you, so just feel free to ask anything you want, suggest anything you want. You can suggest material you want to see on our channel, so we will try to fulfill your wishes and to go for your instructions and suggestions. My opponent is still thinking. I do not know what is the idea. Definitely that is not problem with this connection, because on internet platform that would be visible. Okay, bishop d3. So after opponent moves the bishop, I want to take, and the reasonable option after this is to install knight on d5. So after he takes, knight d7 and knight b6, fighting for blockading spot on d5. Let me give you some instructions for positions with isolated pawn in the center. Side having isolated pawn usually has some space advantage and some activity. So with installing knight on e5, white would want to put pressure on my position. But of course, white must play very carefully that position, because if I manage somehow to trade many pieces, he would face problems, because that pawn will be desperately weak in upcoming endgame. So strategy of black is clear: exchange the pieces, with same time restricting white's initiative here. So in order to put pressure on d4, I would do pinning that knight on f3 with bishop g4. Okay, black can go for installing piece on d5, probably knight, of course, with c6 and knight d5, but of course bishop g4 is good move as well, because that is just normal move leading to finishing development. What can my opponent do here? Well, one option is h3, where I will probably response with bishop h5, but right now after bishop e3 I can just go for commonly finishing development. Let's say this knight goes there. Why this knight? Well, I want to play this like bishop f5 to bishop f6 to target that weak pawn on d4. He takes, okay. As I told you, exchanges generally are in favor of side playing against isolated pawn. Okay. My opponent spends time. 5 minutes to go. Okay. After h3, of course, I wouldn't take. I would just play this. And my opponent cannot easily get rid of that annoying pin. Of course, g4 is possible and a bit reasonable move, but don't forget every advanced pawns will create some weaknesses, so pawns cannot go back. Okay, h3 played, bishop h5 was my response. What's my plan for future? Well, let's say c6, bishop f6, rook e8, putting pressure on pawn d4 and bishop e3 as well. Okay, my opponent is impatient. With bishop on e3 he cannot easily get rid of my dangerous pin with queen d3, so practically he is more or less forced to go for this. Now there can be problems. I cannot play f6, that would be bad because my knight on d5 would be pinned. I don't like to take on e3 because if I take, he will take back with rook, and he will with a pawn and open rook attacking my f7. So this time I want to play just calm move bishop f6. My idea is to take now and to take now on e3 and d5 and to double his pawns. If he takes on g6, nothing happens. My knight on g5 on d5 is not worse than opponent bishop. Okay, if he takes on g6, just h takes normally. Maybe even f takes should be played because of opening f file, but I would rather play h takes in this position. Let's see what can occur in next stage of the game. Well, 4 minutes remaining for my opponent and 8 minutes for me. So that can be also important factor in next stage of the game. Queen f3 looks logical, but I will probably respond with knight e3. If he takes with pawn, I will take on e5, desperately damaging his pawn structure. And if he takes with queen on e3, there will be also annoying move rook e8, maybe with idea of, who knows, c5 in some good moment. Let's see what will he do. What he will do, yeah. Queen f3 looks normal. Three minutes remaining for my opponent. I don't know about his intention. Less than 3 minutes. Queen f3 I think should be good suggestion. Where I have also calm response of c6. Not opening f file. And if I take on e3, queen takes e3, he will have threat of f5, f4, f5. So I think I would, after queen f3, just play calm move c6. After queen f3, I cannot take on d5, on e5 with my bishop, because there is bishop d5 intermediate move. And my bishop is under attack, my pawn b7 is under attack, so that wouldn't be good for me. But there is some tactic. Just look, queen f3, knight takes e3, queen f3, bishop e5, bishop d5, bishop d4. And after he takes bishop d4, I have c6, I have attack on his both bishop on d5, but I don't think that would be good for me, because my queen will be exposed. He will get some tempo on my queen, attacking it with my with his rooks. So I would rather stay refrained from playing it. He's spending so much time. I don't know what's going on, but let's wait for his decision. such moves like moving knight somewhere or taking bishop or something else is, I think, primitive. He must go for moving queen somewhere and definitely defending bishop on e3. He takes. Okay, he finally played this. Okay, h takes is safer. I want to play for a win. If I were take with f pawn, queen f3 with attacking my knight and trading it with probably draw in symmetrical structure, so I need to protect it. Okay, no problem. Rook c1. Now there is, if rook c8, he can take my knight, and then I will be forced to take with the queen. Okay, that is not a problem for me to take with the queen. Let's do this. I can play, of course, rook e8, but then I will have potential problem with the f7 pawn, so I want to be able to move my knight somewhere. He cannot easily advance kingside pawns. That's the problem for him. He can just do few more rook moves, but nothing specific will occur. He's on 10 seconds and less, and definitely he'll soon lose the game on time. But okay, definitely I think that was interesting play in the opening, and you could learn few things how to play against opponent isolated pawn. So don't give opponent initiative and try to exchange pieces, transferring game to the endgame. My dear chess friends, I am so sorry you didn't see endgame in that game. You just saw some incomplete game, but okay, that's my opponent's fault, not mine, and I hope still you could learn thing on two. See you soon with new examples. Bye bye.